Hey, this is Jackie.
And Coach Patrick.
And you're listening to Help Matters here on WAAW, Shout 94.7 FM, the station of inspiration and empowerment information.
This is the day the Lord has made.
And we're going to rejoice and be glad in it, Coach.
Yep, because every day our strength is in the joy of the Lord.
Amen. I thought you were going to say every day is not perfect, but every day has a purpose.
Well, we can say that too, because that's a true statement.
It is. Well, good morning, CSRA. How y'all guys doing out there today? We got a rainy day today, guys. A little bit cool, so you want to make sure if you have anything going on, go ahead and get out there and get it done and get back in the house and get out of the weather. So they're predicting 9% chance of rain today.
And tomorrow, rainy weekend.
Oh, yes.
But we actually been, kind of dodging it a little bit because we were supposed to get it, I think, starting last night. So that's a good thing. We need the rain. We're getting ready to go into spring and things are getting ready to come back to life. So we need that. That's a good thing. All right, Jackie, we're going to go ahead and do some house cleaning. But first, we'll acknowledge birthdays. This is February. So everyone that's celebrating a birthday for this great month of February, we wish you a happy birthday. We got so many family members that celebrated a birthday this month or getting ready to celebrate a birthday. My sister Phyllis Joyce, my son-in-law Eamon, my brother Rufus Jr. Happy birthday. We got a cousin, Wanda.
Yes.
Yep, your brother and your mother that's resting in peace now. Their birthdays this month. Yeah.
A day apart, the 14th
a lot of family.
and the 15th.
Yeah.
Valentine lady.
Yeah. The family having birthdays this month. But everyone that's celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. And those that are celebrating an anniversary, however you did it, listen, whether you tied the knot, jumped the broom, however you did it, enjoy yourself. Keep building that marriage, that relationship, becoming one. As Jackie always say, we're not one when we come together, but we are becoming one. So keep loving each other. Keep making the compromises that you need to make to have a great and awesome marriage. So happy anniversary. We're going to go ahead and acknowledge our sponsors, our friends, and our partners of the show. Wesby Products and Services owner, Mr. Dunn Wesby, is the creator of Dunn Seasoning Delight, a multi-purpose liquid seasoning and marinade. His email is seasoningdelight@gmail.com. For locations, recipes, and testimonies, you can visit his website at www.seasoningdelight.com. It's good to you and good for you. And Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan, when your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest, right here in Aiken, South Carolina. And their number is 803-641-9191. And their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. To be a sponsor, partner, or friend of the Help Matters broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. We would love for you to partner with us to help us bring this awesome Power Hour show to you every Saturday at 8 a.m.
All right, guys. We want to say good morning to our Facebook watcher. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, those
who will
Facebook. Yes, will be joining us, guys. We have a powerful couple in here this morning. And guys, February we're doing a segment on building healthier and better families because we all can use room for improvement. Last week we had DC Simpkins on here. Awesome interview that she did. She works with kids, parents. She said she said you got to get in the house. You got to get to the children because when we send the kids back into the same environment, kind of defeat the purpose of what they're trying to do to help the children because you help the kids, but you send them right back into that same environment. Guys, you know what that tune is. That's Help Matters Happening Tune. And that's when we take the time to bring you relevant information that pertains to your health and well-being. Take it, Coach.
All right. This morning, Help Matters Happening. As you know, we are recognizing Black History Month this mighty month of February. And today's Black History icon is Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. Dr. Williams performed the first successful open heart surgery in 1893 and founded Providence Hospital and Training School for Nurses, the first Black-owned hospital in America in 1891. From 1893 to 1898, he was Surgeon-in-Chief, Freedman's Hospital in Washington, D.C. He also founded the National Medical Association in 1895 African Americans were denied membership in the American Medical Association. As a charter member of the American College of Surgeons in 1913, he was the first and only African American member for many years. This has been Your Health Matters Happening.
And also, guys, we want to let you know Burke County is having a fentanyl health event today, starting at 10 o'clock to 12, just 2 hours. It's going to be sponsored by the Burke County Sheriff Department. And we know that fentanyl and opioid has become a very epidemic in our community. Thank you, Coach, for that. In our community, and it's affecting our children, not only our children, families. So we want to get some more information and be more aware of it. So come out, guys, to this awareness event. Coach and I will be out there as the CSRA Health Equity Navigators, partnered with the DPH East Central District. So come on out there. We will have information out there. You will have mental health specialists out there. So come on out there for 2 hours. If you can come out there, get this information. They also going to be handing out Narcan. I guess it's the medicine that you get if people go into overdose. Yes, I know you may say that. Why? Well, hey, it's better to save them than to lose them. So guys, come on out. If you can get out there, just 2 hours, press your way out. This is a very important event. It's all about our health and our well-being.
What time was it again?
From 10 to 12 at Burke County Sheriff Department.
Yeah, that address is 715 West 6th Street in Waynesboro, Georgia. 715 West 6th Street in Waynesboro, Georgia. Well, all right, Jackie. February is American Heart Month also.
Yes, it is.
And strokes occurs when part of the brain loses its blood supply and stops working. This causes the part of the body that the injured brain controls to stop working. Now, there's an acronym that we all use to recognize someone that may be about to go into a stroke, and that acronym is FAST, FAST, because you need to react fast. The F stands for face drooping. The A is arm weakness. The S is speech difficulty. And T is time to call 911. So use the FAST acronym if you may notice someone having these symptoms, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, then it's time to call 911. All right?
All right.
Jackie,
yes.
Let's get ready to jump into this.
Oh, yes.
Topic.
Welcome this morning on Facebook, Julia Robbins. Good to have you on us this morning, and Deborah McDaniel. Thank you guys so much. Remember, like and share. Guys, we value your views and opinions, so go ahead. Give us a call here at 803-641-6497 or 6499, or hit us up on Facebook with your question, and we will try to put it out there. All right, guys. We know that creating a successful blended family is possible with time and attention.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So as of 2019, more than 3 million children live in a blended household in the United States. This was once a rarity in the American culture, but now 7% of kids now live in blended families, Coach.
Yeah, and that's a big number, and it's growing. It's growing because society has changed. But we have Ariel and Elizabeth Daniels in the studio with us on this morning. Blended Family Enrichment Strategies. They have some great information that they're going to share with you, the CSRA, on how to make a blended family. I don't even really like calling it a blended family because they build family. They build family, whether it's blended or you grew up together, because we all have issues. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we'll get right into the topic. Liz, Ariel, please go ahead and introduce yourself to the CSRA.
Good morning to you guys.
Good morning. Good morning. We're Ariel and Elizabeth James. We are blended family enrichment strategists, and that word he just said, it was paramount. Families are families. We talk about blended family, but this applies to all families. Because all families, there are dynamics, issues and their challenges, and then whether you're connected biologically or connected matrimonially, we need to consider all those dynamics and consider all those factors that it takes to make a great family, and whether blended or traditional.
Awesome. Okay, so just tell us a little bit about you guys. Just who you are, what you do. Who you are and what you do.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
we're blended family strategists, as my husband Ariel stated already. But we love families. We love people. And God just kind of dropped it in our spirit years ago. We got married in 1989, and we brought a blended family to our marriage. And not that it's been easy, but God just gave us some wisdom and knowledge and insight and some foresight, and we were able to do it without a lot of challenges. And so, as God graced us to do that, we were seeing that a lot of people were having a lot of issues, and it can be challenging, but it doesn't have to be as hard as it is in some situations. And so, as we began to navigate in ministry, and we kept getting, we're counselors at our church in Restoration over in Augusta, Georgia, and shout out for Restoration.
Yes.
And so we noticed that we were getting a lot. God was just leading a lot of people to come to us that had blended families, and so we talked about it. Say, you know what? Let's write a book so that not only can we help one-on-one, but we can help the masses. And so that's where our book birthed from, Blended Families. Kicking the step out of mom, because as you stated earlier, I really don't like to say. To me, step is a negative word. It's a dirty word. Just be a mom,
Yeah.
And some people, they struggle with stepmom or stepdad or someone replacing them. And I like to tell the listeners, you can never be replaced. You already have a place. You can never be replaced. But God made us able and capable of loving more than one person. And when you get married and you bring a family together, that person that you're marrying, whether the husband or the wife, should step up. And so you're just stepping up. You're not replacing anyone. You're stepping up, and you're being a mom or being a dad.
Just like that bonus mother and father that's coming in to just not replace, but just adding on.
So y'all still ain't answered my question, so I'm gonna answer it for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you do a lot in the community. With the blended family, we're gonna dive into that and we're gonna talk about that. But you like a Christian comedian, you do things like that, right?
Yeah.
And
Sister Gladys.
Sister Gladys.
Sister Gladys.
We may ask her to give us a little Sister Gladys.
You might as well. Like Pastor say, squeeze the milk out of them while you got it.
I know, right? Hey, you got to see us, all right? Listening to you guys. Give it
And
to
then
them.
we have Ariel, who's also, a singer. He's an artist. And you just released you dropped what y'all call it, a single, a CD, or what? I don't know what they call it today. I know it's not an album, right?
They call it an EP.
EP.
Yeah.
All right, so just briefly, tell them what you do in that area a little bit, and Sister Gladys, tell them a little bit what you do in that area, and then we're gonna really dive into this blended family.
Well, I grew up in a family of sung. We pretty much sung all the time. That's all we like to do. I think that was our bent. So I sung ever since I was small. I started with my group that was comprised of my family. So God has always had the love of singing in me. And so throughout the years, it just continued to grow and grow and evolve. I've done praise and worship to, I was in the military, so I've done praise and worship to in a lot of countries. And God just gifted me to, to connect with some people. They gave me the opportunity to record. And, my family is also gifted. One of my daughters wrote pretty much all. She just gave me the latitude to kind of edit it. But she pretty much wrote all of my songs. But we launched that last year. And hey, just feel free to reach out to me, arialdaniels.com, arialdanielsin.com. Just hit Jack and Pat on the station, and they can definitely give it and get you some music.
Let me tell you, this is an awesome man of God. His wife is an awesome woman of God. Yes. And listen, this man can usher in the presence of God. Listen, I'm telling you,
Yes.
He takes us there every Sunday. It's a blessing to have him in our presence every Sunday.
Absolutely.
Well, it's just like a house. You got all kind of rooms in a house, right? And so as it relates to individually, you do a lot of things, And so actually, I come from a comedic family. I have a family that's very comedic, and my husband, and also my husband as well. But when Pastor years ago, Dr. Mitchell, he was talking about the purpose, kept linking about your purpose and, walk in your purpose and your destiny. And I always kind of suppressed, because I always could hear this inner voice now, like when somebody would say something, I would hear it, I could hear in my head a funny response or something like that. And so, Sister Gladys was birthed about, about 7, 8 years ago. And she's a church lady. And she runs around, and her mission is to help the peoples of God. And the peoples of God. The peoples of God. That is her mission. And she's been anointed. Yeah, she's been anointed and appointed by God to help the peoples of God. And so it's just a character that God gave me, a comedic character that God gave me, and that I kept suppressing it, but the pastor kept talking about purpose and what are the things that God put inside of us, to bring them out, to bring them forth. And so he didn't want me to do it because he knows that comedians, is kind of, sometimes comedians
say things that people don't really like.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm defending you, but
they make them think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I'm gonna have to say my oldest sister Peggy, give her a shout out, and my brother-in-law Ronnie. They really were the ones who really pushed me. My kids didn't want me to do it either, but they really were the ones that pushed me to do it. And so now I have a lot of fans. I love Sister Gladys, and they're always like, "When you gonna put out something else?" Because I do these little skits and little blurbs that I upload on Facebook or YouTube. Or last year I had the pleasure of being there on Ashley and Tony Ferris on their debut. And so, been to churches, I've been to places and did things. And so, somebody trying to go.
That's all right.
And so, that's one of the things that I do by trade and profession. I'm a floor designer. I love to create. I love to design, make beautiful things.
Yes, I never forget about it. I was going to bring it up.
Event planner. And again, well, Pastor, he kind of enlightened us. Back in the day, what's his name from the Bahamas? Passed away. What's his name? Miles Monroe. Yeah. Miles Monroe was, the first one that we heard talking about the purpose and destiny. And when I was a little girl, I always used to plant flowers. I was taking care of flowers and planting flowers, and so I didn't know back then that was down inside of me, But it just evolved, came out. I was about 18 years old. That was one of my first jobs I got in at the Waccamaw Pottery back in the day, and so it kind of just kept developing. And so, so that's one of the things.
I taught her a few things.
So how can the people get in touch with you, ladies, if they want Sister Gladys in the house?
Sister Gladys, they can go to, Sister Gladys has a Facebook page, Sister Gladys, SSISTER, Gladys. And you can hit me up on a messenger, or you can go, unfortunately, my personal page got hacked, so I'm in the process of I create a new page, but I'm still hoping and praying that I get my old page back. But you can also contact me at 706-231-8786, and you can contact her that way as well.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. So now, when I say powerful, I gotta say this while I'm thinking about it. This woman here makes the devil flee. She is an intercessor in the ministry.
Intercessor in the ministry.
She don't play. She don't play when it comes to prayer. And she's powerful.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. I was just trying to tell her she have a sister here, Tawana. Hi, girl. She's here on Facebook. Good morning. Awesome. Good morning.
All right, so we're gonna jump into this topic now because it's gonna get real good up in here. So my first question to you is, in today's science, right? Do you think it's realistic to expect to have healthy relationships in blended families?
Okay. In today's society, do I think it's healthy?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Do you think it's realistic? I'm sorry, to have healthy relationships in a blended family, because you got people coming from everywhere, right? So in this society, with all these things going on in this society, is it realistic?
It is realistic. It is realistic. Just like anything, you have to work at it, and some things come with challenges, and it's work. You're gonna have to put the work in. You're gonna have to put the time in. you're gonna have to implement and put certain things in to make it work. But it's definitely possible.
Yes, I like what Liz just said. The work, you got to put the work in. You and I always like to say it's God's it's our responsibility, but it's God's ability, and we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. He will give us the strategies and the ideas and wisdom on how to do that. You know, we're willing to do that and put the effort in. You got something to say, Ariel?
Yes, as I know, we spent many years, well, I spent 20 years in the military, and we initially got married, we didn't have a lot of resources. That's why God really helped us out with this. He kind of put it down our spirit because we didn't have a lot of resources. And it was kind of, he kind of taught us while in flight, taught us while we were living through it. And then in the military too, you see family with different dynamics. Some military guy get married 2, 3, 4 times. And people would start coming to us, because I think because they saw that we were getting along, our families getting along, we getting along well, and how we just agreed and we united as a family. And some of us didn't even know, but once they found out, oh man, you guys actually have a blended family, they would come to us for advice because it seemed to reek off of us. They kind of sensed it. We drew people in for us. So it was like it was a God thing that caused us to kind of get in this arena.
And you use the word dynamics, and when I think about that and think about a family coming together that's bringing children into the family, it is dynamic because you think about it. When you're coming into a marriage, it may be the man and woman may be in their 30s, upper 30s. So, they're bringing some things into the marriage. And then you got kids that may be, teenagers or could be adult kids. So now you got to try to make all these dynamics work so you can build a healthy family, that you guys could thrive and live together and become that one family. And not only do blended family have that problem, but any family has that problem.
Any family, they have the same.
Yeah, dealing with them different personalities, especially girls. And, how did y'all cope with that, with those different personalities coming into? How did y'all blend that? How did y'all manage that? Kind of show us how that happened.
Well, initially what we did, again, no one told us. It's just the grace of God. God graced us. We had family meetings from day one. Our kids were little bitty kids, and we were sit to the family table, and we would discuss. And let me regress and let me back up to help someone that may be getting ready to get in a blended family or in a blended relationship. You have to talk with your kids. You can't just you can make decisions, but you need to involve your children in your decision making. I let them feel like they're involved in decision making, because what often happens is like people get married and then child may didn't even know you were getting married, or I had a situation. It could go either way. Real quick, I'm gonna tell you about a situation. A friend of mine, she was getting married, and her son, he was around about 9 years old. He totally said, "Mom, he worries me." See, kids are innocent and they're picking up on things sometimes that you're not picking up on. But needless to say, the marriage didn't work. It was bad. Within 6 months, it was over. And but the son could see something. Back in the day, they would say, take the girl home to mama, let mama check her out, and we're missing that now. People just jump up and get married and they don't get counsel. They don't take it home to mama, let the family check them out, let the kids, what do you think, involve the kids. But we had family meetings from day one, and we were able to establish it from the beginning. Because see, every child wants their blood mom and dad to be together. That's just a dream. Every child wants that. So you have to first deal with that issue. Say, hey, what came out of the relationship was you. That the most beautiful thing that came out of the relationship. This is not the person that God had for me, for your mom, or for your dad. And so we're together now. And so, you have to get them to go ahead and accept that.
Right.
Deal with that.
That's good.
Go ahead and process that. Embrace it, right. Because if you don't, there's still going to be hope floating around, or the kid's going to try to do a little devious things to try to break up or whatever your marriage. So then you have to go ahead and establish that from the beginning. So certain things, foundational things, because we're talking about building better families, and And so those one thing that's I would say that's a major building block from the beginning.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And let me add something right quick. And when we talk about that blended family, are we talking about, the whole family, which could be the son, a daughter, other mother, the biological mother, just blending it, having that healthy relationship overall, because you're trying to establish and build this healthy family within, but then on the outside you may have, the biological, I'm just being real.
Yes,
the
yes,
biological
sure.
mother could
Our
be
father, right.
being a
That is
father
real.
being more negative. So
That's a dynamic you have to do.
you have
Right.
to deal with that. That's just real. That's being real. And you got to know how to what coach that or cultivate that, and how to make that better.
And again, a building block. What I would encourage anyone, you have to establish. Okay, we're a family, and you have to let other people, if you were married to them, who wasn't married to them, their old girlfriend, old boyfriend, whatever. You establish we're a family unit now, and so that, hey, we value your opinion. We're gonna work with you. We're gonna work. We want to work with you. We want to work with you because it helps everything run smoothly. But you have to establish some that from the beginning. Because if you don't, you're gonna continually have issues.
So,
Go ahead.
say we can get along. So one thing with kids said, I know we wants to be together. We can't be together, but we can't get along.
Mhm.
So best we can best try to get along with the other person, the people outside of the other previous partners.
Right.
Try your best to get along, but the bottom line is we're not going to, share the kids. No, we're not going to be. We still going to be get along, but in that, just try to develop some good wholesome relationship that it'll work all around, because the kids are in the middle,
Right.
and so we want to take the stress of the kids' life also. So if you can. Get along with some of them, make it difficult, and you have to pray on them a lot. But eventually, you can get along if you try.
Yeah.
And as we said, as when we started off, we're talking about building healthier and better families with Ariel and Liz Daniels, their blended family enrichment strategies. But we talked about, one of the things we will talk about is how important it is, and you guys have hit it a little bit, that the man and the woman have an understanding that, hey, this is how we're going to handle this, and we're going in this thing together. In the military, area, when if you're a platoon sergeant or a squad leader and you didn't agree with something that the platoon sergeant or the first sergeant may say, you do it inside the house. But when we go outside the doors to the soldiers, we're in agreement. We're in agreement. We are not, because you've already done everything you can do. You guys have shared your opinions and things like that. Okay, now when we go outside this door, we're one. We're together. And this is how we're gonna go with this thing. And that man and that woman has to be together when dealing with blended families.
Absolutely.
You have to be, because it's whether your family's going to make it or not.
Right.
From the beginning, it's and people need counseling. They really need counseling before premarital counseling. Critical, and you need to get counseling from the right people. That's critical.
Exactly. Come on.
But you got to put that in place prior to.
Yeah.
They have to be established. Like you said, we're going to go meet and then we come back out. That's a great analogy. You have to put those things in place prior to. You can't try to,
on the spot,
mix the process up and do it afterward.
Yeah.
It can be catastrophic. You got to handle that prior to. So when you get in that, you get to that point, then it's working itself out.
That's good. Y'all hold those thoughts that we were talking about how critical counseling is, and I know you got something more you want to say about that. We're going to address that as we come back from the break. Jackie, take us to the break.
All right, guys, you've been listening to Ariel and Liz Daniels kicking the step out of mom and dad and talking about blended families, guys. You don't want to miss the second half of this, guys. And I know this is blessing you. Remember, you can call in, share your opinion. If you have a blended family, call in and share your views and opinion. How did you make it through? Did you make it through? What advice they can give you? That number is 803-641-6499, 6499. We welcome your call. So stay locked down right here on Help Matters with Jackie
and Coach Patrick.
We'll be right back.
Get Fit with Jackie. We're here to help you become a better you, to be the best you that you.
Welcome back, guys, to Help Matters with Jackie.
And Coach
We've
Patrick.
been talking to Ariel and Liz Daniel, guys, blended families, building healthier and better families. Guys, we just left off, we were just talking about discipline and counseling and
Critical.
it's very critical. And, and there's so many dynamics in this. And I was telling them at the break, Liz and Ariel at the break, I said it's almost impossible not to go into a blended family these days when we're considering marrying. That's why it's so important. So kind of just talk about some of the things, Liz, some of the strategies and some of the things that you guys did, just.
Can we just go hit that counseling piece?
Yeah, the counseling.
And then we'll
go into that.
So
yes.
yeah, let's revisit that.
Okay. Counseling is paramount. It's so, I cannot stress that enough how important counseling is, because what happened is if you don't get counseling, premarital counseling, before you go in any marriage, you should get a premarital counseling. But blended families, because of the dynamics. Sometimes you could have a person that's been married 2, 3, 4 times, and you have children from all these relationships, from all these marriages. Or so what are you going to do with those kids? You're just going to throw them away? No, you're not going to throw them away. So how do we incorporate that into the new union, or how do we incorporate children that came before the marriage, out of wedlock? How do we do that? How do we do that? And so, and if I were to give the society a grading right now, I wouldn't give them a very good grade, because I see so much, and I see I'm on some forums and some blogs and some sites. I mean, they're just they're giving so much garbage out there and advice to people, and telling them, now I hate the kid, and all kind of stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, these people are actually giving people advice. And so I would encourage anyone, seek wise, good counseling, someone that's in the area of a blended family that can give you some good counseling that you've seen have a good foundation and a good marriage.
That's good.
Yes.
And I think,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me. And I think something that people miss is the child aspect of it. That child going to one day grow up to maybe, hopefully, become a productive adult.
Right.
What happens to that child during that time?
Right.
How they're treated, if they feel neglected. I mean, there are a lot of things that could stem from your relationship and their rearing that will affect them in the long run.
Right.
To give that child a wholesome relationship, a wholesome family, what they need from both sides still.
That's what it's about.
And because you need to still grow people up to be successful in the society and to be a full, functional individual that don't have deficits that came from, not being raised up in a family.
Strongholds.
Yeah. You feel deficient, and it comes from, there's some things that came from the marriage that they weren't treated right, weren't handled right, relationships weren't right. And so we get all that stuff right, then we're not only building good family, we're building our children also to become successful, a successful society.
That's good.
And productive. And I was thinking about that earlier, being productive in this society, because we are the incredible authorities in their lives. And more is caught than taught. And so what we're behaving, what we are doing, they're going to do more like what we do than what we say. And when we dealing with tech kids today, there's a lot of stuff available to them for them to, go to for counseling. They can go on the internet, they can go to their friends. They kind of feed off each other these days, so yes, absolutely. Misinformation, and not just seeking. I like what Liz said, talking to someone who is well knowledge or have experienced this and have been successful. Not that they've been perfect,
right?
but they have gone through the process of making this thing work. So, thank God, families that don't, that didn't have to, but thank God that you got family like, Liz and them, and they have their author books, how they have taken their experience and they have put it in the book, kicking the step out of mom and dad, and trying to bring some type of knowledge and normacy. There you go, normacy and skills and tools and strategies on how to maneuver through this. Great.
So and that's why the meetings that you guys mentioned up front, those are going to be critical to them,
Right.
just like they're critical to the family now.
Yeah,
And the
every
initial
family.
counseling when you come together, and in a blended family, not only does the man and woman need counseling, but you may have to have your children in counseling.
Yes.
You may have to try to bring in the ex for counseling. So how do you guys handle the discipline? How does that dynamic how does that affect a blended family when you got children come? You ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy, but I'm living in your house, but you can't tell me what to do.
And
So how does that
I'm gonna answer that, but I wanna say this. I'll encourage every woman, man, and it's usually, I don't want to pick on the women, but it's usually with the women. Sometimes they hold on to stuff, if the man didn't marry them, or if the marriage didn't work, or this or that, or whatever. And sometimes they can poison the children. They can talk about the dad. They can talk, they can say this, well, if your dad would do this, you can have that. And so it looks to the child would feel like I'm deprived because my dad is not doing this. Sometimes in some cases, I don't care how much money a man give, it's never enough, because it's not the money they wanted, it was the man. And so that's another whole different story. But I just want to encourage people to get healed and whole in those areas so they don't pass it on to the children. And I'm not saying that you don't have some maybe work out some issues. Find your pastor, go to your pastor, your mom, good girlfriend, somebody that's not going to be biased, that's going to give you good information, somebody you can vent to and help you get to a place of wholeness, that you're not passing it on to the children.
That's good. That's good, Liz.
Yeah, you got to seek that.
And you were saying about discipline.
Well, I was going to respond to the remark. You say, like that remark here, you're not my dad. Yeah. So it's when the family, when you understand that relationship, whoever child that is, they're going to straighten out. Okay, look here. We know that's not your dad biologically, but this is our family, and that's not what we tolerate. We're going to talk like this. We're going to align things, put things in place. Everybody's going to respect everybody up in this setting here, okay? Because we respect the kids. We always try to respect our children, but our children's going to respect us. We always say in meetings, you guys can say anything you want to say, but you better be respectful. You need to be respectful so we can go and hash it out. Anything that's on your mind, you say it, but we can hash it out. We allow you to do that. Don't think you can hold anything back. Just be, just don't come out the side of your neck with
it. That's a lesson within itself. You teaching them to respect authority. It's not that you don't have an opinion. You have an opinion in this house, and we want you to know that you have an opinion in this house.
You matter.
Yeah. But you have to understand that you're under authority too. Because we pay the bill. Now,
and going back, piggyback on what I said previously, the respect thing has a lot to do when they go to the other home, or when they go to the other home. It's how the dad or the mom is viewed. If the ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, if she's disrespecting the individual, then typically the child will too, or the child think they can. And so a lot of it has to be established behind the scenes without the kids. You have to establish that, as well.
That's good. That is good. I tell you, all of these things we're talking about, it helps to build a family, period.
Amen.
But I think when we're talking about blended families, it's like 4 times, challenging, because you got all of these dynamics, but it takes a strong person that really has God in their life
Grace
to be able to overcome the obstacles that you're going to face. Now, we're not naive and think that just because you have these meetings, and just because you get these counselors, that everything's going to be lovely. Talk about that a little bit, because you got to have a plan to deal with that. So we already talked about discipline and things like that, but that's a great dynamic, because listen, we know that, hey, this is the route that we want to take, but we know we may get off that route sometime, and that's where the discipline comes in, and everybody understanding how we expect you to act and how we expect you to contribute
Yes.
to the common welfare of this family, right?
I like to say it like this. This is one of my mottos that I try to live by. What you don't deal with now, you'll deal with later.
Mhm.
A monster, only two things you can do to a monster. You can eat it or you can kill it. That's it.
Feed it.
No, feed it. I'm sorry.
Feed it.
Feed it or kill it.
Okay.
Feed it or kill it. That's all you can do to a monster. And so when things start popping up, the little things, the Bible talks about it's the small foxes that spoil the vines.
Right.
So it's the little things that if you don't deal with them, when you see it popping up, the little smart mouth, the little talking back, the little smacking the lips, the little not coming in on time, the little things, not doing your homework or whatever it may be, those are the things that we need to deal with. And sometimes, husband and wives, we supposed to balance each other, right? So sometimes that balance can get off balance where all of the discipline is put on the mom, all the discipline is put on the dad. So that's not fair to the mom or the dad. So, we're a family. So, we this thing need to be weighted out equally. And so we need to, when we see things, we need to go ahead and deal with it.
Then.
That's good.
Right, man.
Not let
Address
it
it
go
right
two,
there.
yeah, not let it go 2 or 3 months down the road because it had already snowballed.
Mhm.
When we see it, we deal with it then.
Mhm.
So it doesn't go any further.
That's good.
There's an understanding that
Mhm.
we've already established that something won't be tolerated. We're going to have that this way.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And a lot of it is them testing your power base, trying to see what they can get away
Right.
with. The children do that, and they'll
Every
play
child.
you against each other.
Oh yes.
So yeah, they test your power base. As a drill sergeant, I keep going back to the military. I don't used to do this, but I'm doing it today. But as a drill sergeant, we see drill sergeants fussing and hollering and screaming, and that's because we had to break that civilian and make him into a soldier. So the smallest detail, we make it big so that soldier remember. We don't want you to do that.
On the spot correction.
Right. So just like you say, because the kids are going to test your power base, and if you allow them to get away with these little things, they'll think they get more power, and they can do more to be undisciplined.
Exactly. And on the opposite side of that, discipline is praise. And so we don't always want to discipline. We want to praise too.
Good point.
We want to praise too. When if it's a small little thing,
Build up.
yeah, you build them up, you encourage them, because remember we're talking about we're building healthy families, right? And so sometimes people are stingy with compliments. I don't know why.
With generosity.
Yeah, they
and
are,
kindness,
because sometimes
yes.
it depends on our rearing, the way we were raised. Sometimes if you're not careful, you can do the same thing. Back in the day they say, but the dad never said he loved you, but my dad always did. So I grew up with my dad telling me that he loved me, but I love you because I paid the bill. I love you. I don't have to tell you I love you. I love you. And so sometimes we forget. Sometimes we don't give the kids praise. We want to pick out the bad things you're doing, but you always, we want to be equal. The Bible says unbalanced scales and abomination. So we want to have that equal balance. You got discipline, but you got praise.
And you got to identify the good things, not just because what happened is they identify more to the negative than the positive.
Right.
So they have a problem with accepting compliments or giving compliments. So we want to make sure, because that's like, hey, we got flaws,
We all
so,
do.
Yes.
but we can instill and default something in their brains saying that I only identify with the negative things, so I don't accept or can't receive those positive things when someone says it to me.
And you
so
put that wall up.
Yeah. So we have to be careful with our words. We really do, because they are detrimental. You with your words you condemn, and with your word you justify. So we have to be very careful with those words when we're speaking to our children.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Because if you go ahead.
And I'd like to break out too. Sometimes, even though some of us, we bring back from our rearing, something like she said, sometimes the fathers don't tell her, I love you and this, that, and other. Of course, I tell my sons and my daughters I love them. I hug my sons and my daughters. Everybody doesn't do that, but sometimes some stuff that came from our. And I was raised with my mother and father, but I've seen some people get raised by their mother and their father, and they didn't have those things. I mean, they struggled too with showing affection and emotion. And sometimes, especially the kid, they need that. So, this thing gets so complex but sometimes we need to deal with ourselves and become good parents because you're talking about, am I going to commend them just like I correct them? So we're talking about what? Love. We say main factors: love, communication, and what? Forgiveness.
I remember we talked to y'all before. Y'all talked about some ingredients of our family, but I can't remember what they are. Go ahead.
So in doing that, you try to, like say, balance it. You give love, but you also make those landmarks, make those corrections, or you put that those borders out there. But you definitely have to give the love part, because if you don't show the child love, they don't want to listen to you.
And every time they try to approach you, they're going to be thinking, oh, it's going to be negative. So I'm not going to even tell them.
Yeah, because that's what they identify with.
Because I know what's going to happen. So, and you don't want that to happen.
Absolutely. You got some comments here. You got someone says establish boundaries up front. Equal balance is necessary, and validation. So these are some of the things I just want you to just going across on Facebook. You want to hear?
And they covered some of that stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're getting to that time. So we got maybe about a good 3 minutes. So you guys go ahead and cover whatever you feel you want to cover in these next 3 minutes. Make sure if you want the people to have some type of contact information to get in touch with you, give them that, and we'll be ready to close out.
I just want to let the audience know that we're available for we do have a website, blendedfamilyjustlove.com, and you can reach us there for counseling, speaking. A lot of people that as a subject that they don't want to deal with sometime, but it's I forgot to get the statistics earlier. The statistics are saying that the millennials are not going to know a traditional family. So pretty much everybody's going to be blended. And so, we need to go ahead and implement, get these tools and things in place. You can also reach us on my Facebook page, Author Elizabeth Grissett Daniels. That's Author Elizabeth Grissett Daniels, and Grissett is Grissett. And, we just have a passion, I could talk about this all day long, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love it because, as my husband stated earlier, we had no one years ago to help us. We had no one to, we had no book. If there were a book, we didn't know anything about it. But we just love helping people.
And that's good. And I just like how Liz just complimented, just talked about that. They didn't have a book on this. This is just that passion, and you can hear the passion. And she didn't mention they have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do.
They have sessions on the YouTube channel you can check out as well. You want to talk about that?
Yes, it's my YouTube channel is same thing. Blended Families, Just Love. Blended Families, Just Love. And you know what? We don't, because that's our whole mission, and our whole mantra is to love your family. Just love. Sometimes people just competing. You don't have to do all this competing. Just love. Yes, and something I was going to say earlier about, when it comes to a blended family, or come to a husband and wife, if you love a child going to feel love. They know when it's real. They know what's real. Yes, just love. Just love.
That's it. That's love.
Yeah.
But you got Ariel.
Yeah, and if I can wrap it up here quickly, I know some people, I've learned that some people say, I don't need a counseling. I don't need, I don't need advice. So this is my word to you on there. Everybody needs advice. Everybody needs, maybe not be counseling per se, but you need advice. In Proverbs 11:14 says, the multitude of counseling, there's safety. All right. So we look at the GOATs. Brady just retired, the guy that knows the sports buff. A lot of people, Tom Brady, they say he was the GOAT, the greatest. You talk about Kobe Bryant, the greatest. A lot of these basketball players, Shaquille O'Neal, greatest.
Michael Jordan.
Whatever sake of sports. Those guys are good enough. They were already talented and gifted, but they needed coaches. Yeah. And coaches brought out other mentors and coaches.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
They brought out the next level of excellence in them. You may be good, but hey, you're going to always stand some building. Because you know what? You weren't born here by yourself. You weren't born here yourself. Your mother had to bring you here. You're not going to be buried. You're not going to bury yourself. Someone's going to have to bury you. And one thing, we need to get rid of the I syndrome. Because if you think you need some help, You really do.
Amen.
Just break down. Go talk to someone and get some help. Everybody needs some
help.
advice.
And room for
sometime.
improvement.
Amen.
That's everybody. And I love that because of the fact that this generation, they reject mentorship. They reject coaching, and so the Bible said wisdom come with age, and I respect the children of today, the young adults, their tenacity, their confidence, but there's some wisdom that can be instilled, to help you, so, but hey, we see it, we help them, those who receive the help. So you got a lot of comments here. You said, I know you guys are planning a part 2 of this interview. Yeah, so guys, yes, thank you. And we all know social wellness is the ability to relate, connect, and interact with other people, the ability to establish, maintain positive relationship with families and friends.
Yep. So listen, we've run slap out of time, but we've had a good time.
Yeah,
Good information, empowerment information, and that's what we do here at WAW. We bring empowerment information. So we hope that someone has been empowered to build a healthy family, blended family, or just biological family. Build a healthy family. Counseling, meetings, have open conversation with your children, and build a healthy family. Listen,
guys, remember, we're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. We like to leave you with 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Okay, guys, you get out there, enjoy that Super Bowl tomorrow, guys. Fly, Eagles, fly. I know that's right, because we got Bama. Bama flying like an eagle. So, guys, get out there, have a good time, enjoy your family, be safe, guys. If you got something to do, get out there and do it, and get back and be safe on that road. We love you from Help Matters, guys. We will talk with you later.
Thank you guys for coming on. Greatly appreciate it. Share.
All right, guys.
Page,
thank you.
Share this information. Love you.
See y'all later. Thanks for joining.
See you later. Reach out. Anybody